The next step is we've got a graphic organizer. We can start writing. We can start writing our opening paragraph. Okay, you guys have AR books in your desk?
Yes.
Would you please get those out? Because this is one of the best ways to show you some fantastic openings. I want you to open your book to the very first sentence in that book. And I want you to read it to yourself. Who has an opening that they think is just really interesting? They love how the story opens. It kind of grabs you and pulls you in and keeps you there. Yes, ma'am. Read good and loud for us. Just read, say, the first sentence or two.
But what did they talk about? Asked Mr. Guy, the lawyer.
Okay, let me see your book for a minute. Okay, this is the book, The Borrower's Afloat. And she read, "But what do they talk about?" asked Mr. Begod, the lawyer. He spoke almost irritably, as of foolish goings-on. Okay, so that's a really nice way to start a book. Someone, they'll introduce your character, one of your characters, right off the bat. What do they talk about? Right off the bat, that gets you to thinking, what are they talking about? Why are they talking? Why is it so important? Okay?
Oh, Mom's, Trixie moaned, running her hands through her short, sandy curls. I'll just die if I don't have a horse.
Ooh, that's a good opening. Oh, Mom's, Trixie moaned, running her hands through her short, sandy curls. I'll just die if I don't have a horse. Do we know what that story's going to be about with that first sentence? She wants a horse. This girl really wants a horse, so that's part of the story. Part of what the character desires, wants, needs. Another way they started this, they started with dialogue. That's another way you could open is dialogue. You're talking, you're conversing with someone back and forth using those quotation marks. Thank you. Who else has a good opening?
If you are interested in stories with happy endings, you'll be better off reading some other book.
Okay? That's kind of, if you're interested in stories with happy endings, you'd be better off reading some other book. Now, does that grab you and pull you in and make you want to read more? It does, doesn't it? If you're interested in stories with happy endings, you're thinking, oh my gosh, this story has a sad ending? What's going on? I got to read and find out. Thank you.
I clasped the flask between my hands, even though the warmth of the hot from the tea long since leached through this frozen air.
Okay, that's a really, that's a nice one. Let me see your book. That is Catching Fire, which is a nice title. I clasped the flask between my hands. Okay, right there. They're starting off with action. That's one way to start a story. Start off with what you're doing. And then they went, even though the warmth from the tea has long since leached into the frozen air. Okay, so warm tea, frozen air. So they're describing a little bit too, using some adjectives. Warm, frozen. Take a look at the dialogue lead. I just read somebody's book, yours, that has dialogue in it. So that's what when you see dialogue lead, that's what we mean. Climactic lead, start with the conflict. Some of your books that you read started with the conflict. There was a problem here. What's wrong? Okay. Using feeling words. I love the feel of the pine-scented breeze blowing across my face on top of dolly sods. I could start like that. Onomatopoeia. There's a funny word. Have you heard of that one? Yeah. Sound words. You can have a lot of fun with sound words as long as you don't use them a dozen times throughout your story. It's a great way to open. Some of you mentioned starting, you're out your special window, you were at the ocean. So could you say crash, splash, for the sounds of the waves? as your onomatopoeia to open your story. Okay, you could do that. Let's skip down to opening with a question. That's where you ask your reader a question. That's where you say, you kind of describe what is outside your special window. And you could ask the reader, what would you like to see? What magical thing do you want to see out your special window? So that's opening with a question. We talked about this using a verb or an adjective. Some of you, we talked about starting off with the action. Somebody read a book where one of your openings where you started right off the bat with an action. Whose was that? Was that yours? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or an adjective, and they kind of got some adjectives in that one too, so they kind of combined it. So there are some ways to open the story. Here are some other ways to open a story. Interesting description. We've kind of already talked about that, describing your scene. Sound is an onomatopoeia. Past and present, that's where you can talk about the past. Like you could talk about where the day before you were just sitting in your bedroom, you know, nothing much going on, it's just your bed and your dresser, it's a humdrum day, and then you look out that window and then all of a sudden you see, you know, a racetrack or you see the ocean. Okay? I'm not going to bombard you with too many of these, just a few at a time. Exclamation, that's starting with a word that shows excitement. Right here they use the example, yeah. You might say, you know, hooray, all right. You know, I'm going to the beach. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and stop there for now with your openings. And let's go ahead and move on to writing our good openings. Okay, first thing we need to do, we need to tell our reader what this whole story is about. Okay, so think a minute. How did you get a magic window right there in the first place?
Your mom bought it for you.
Okay, could be. So did she just go and say, oh, there's a magic window, I'm going to buy it for you?
Your dad's a scientist.
Dad's a scientist. He could have invented it, and he was going to just try it out on you, use you as a guinea pig.
Maybe you're magic.
Lab rat.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe it's magic.
Well, the window is magic. It's,
Turn it magic.
you turn it magic by a potion or something? Yeah, you could do that.
Was there whenever you came there?
You moved into a new house? Oh, that's clever. Okay.
You probably found a book that had a spell in it that can change everything.
Yeah, you could do that, yeah.
Or just advertisement for it?
An ad for it, yeah, in the newspaper or something, or in the...
Comic book.
Yeah. It could be... maybe you broke your window and it needs replaced.
And then you just found out that it's a magic window?
Yeah, you didn't know, Mom and Dad didn't know when they purchased it and had it installed, that maybe it ends up being magical, and you wake up one day and you think, oh, you're rubbing your eyes and you think you're going to look out the window, it's going to be snow again, and you go, all of a sudden there's the ocean outside your bedroom window or
and
your
then you go out and
classroom
look
window.
in your front yard, nothing's there but your window.
But there's your magic window. And maybe you are the only one who sees it. Maybe other people see it. That's up to you. This is your special story. Let's let the reader know. By reader, I say you're the writer. People are going to read this story just like you read your AR books. You're the reader. So how are we going to start this?
As the morning sun glistened in my eyes.
Ooh, that's very nice. Okay, so you could start like that. Any other ideas how you want to start? You want to take his idea and go with it? Okay. Indent. What could we say next?
It awakens me.
Okay.
I awoke.
As the morning sun glistens in my eyes, it awakens me. Seems like we need something else on that. As the morning sun glistens in my eyes, what are you going to do? You're going to do this?
Covered my eyes quickly.
I covered my eyes quickly.
As the morning sun glistens in my eyes, I'm going to take out it.
Do you want to use eyes twice, though? Do you want to say,
I
as the
covered-
morning sun glistens in my eyes, I covered my eyes quickly?
Good point.
Or should we use,
I covered my face.
That's good. Could you say this? I shield my face from its glare or something like that? What do you all think? This is your story. I shield my face
From the blinding sun.
from, we already said sun, so as the morning sun glistens in my eyes, I shield my face from its, what did I say earlier? I don't
Harmful
remember.
rays.
Blinding
Ooh.
light.
blinding,
Harmful rays.
Yeah,
blinding light,
rays,
yeah.
You're being blinded from its
Blinding.
Look out the window. What's going to happen? Your body, your face, what's happening here?
Dreadful.
You're in awe.
Okay, you're in awe. Okay. As the morning sun glistens in my eyes, I shield my face from its blinding rays. Okay. Well, first, you're going to go. You're going to adjust to the light, and then you're going to look outside, right? Okay. How are we going to word that?
I groan.
Yes, ma'am.
I wipe my eyes.
Yeah. Okay. I wipe the sun from my eyes or something like that, or okay. I wipe the sun from my eyes. Then gasp.